Welcome, everyone. My name is Cynthia Chio. I'm a postdoc at Mass General, and I'm your training member at large. And with me, there's David. David, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm David Reichenberger. I'm currently a postdoc at Oregon Health and Science University and currently the trainee member at large elect, but soon to be your trainee member at large.
All right. I will go ahead and start the screen. All right. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
All right. Hi, welcome to the May webinar, and the main goal is how to navigate sleep meeting, and I'm so excited because it's just next month, and we'll get to see all 300 of you that have registered. And on the agenda today, we are gonna go over like how to navigate the sleep meeting program and also talk a little bit about the training research abstract video contest whose deadline was just extended. And then we're also going to discuss about the sleep out program, which is especially important for our first time member attendee, and it's a way of enhancing the sleep conference and removing the conference jitter and also expand your network among your peer. And then we're going to talk about the training day part one, which will be Saturday. The morning will be the leadership workshop conference. And then in the afternoon, there'll be the training social event, which will be at Pike Place. And then on Sunday, we are going to talk about the amazing Symposia Series and all the excited speaker, a multidisciplinary speaker that we have lined up. And also we're going to unveil the Trainee Day t-shirt and also highlight talk about Club Hypno and also what to do when you get to the poster hall and also leverage different social media contact to stay connected before, during, and after the conference. So the first item on the agenda is how to navigate the sleep meeting program. And it's, if you go on the website, there should be a tab on the top, which is like on the agenda. And from that, you can view the PDF format of the programming. And we also have the sleep meeting app, which is already available, and you can download it whether you have an Android or an iPhone. And I like the app because when you click on, because most of us like to make a schedule in advance to see like all the cool talks that we need to attend to, you can kind of like save that and it will send you a reminder to like start walking over there. And it can also let you add note and save contacts of the people that you connect with at the app. So highly recommend downloading the app before the conference so you can have all of this at your fingertip. So, but when you get the PDF, if you do decide to download the PDF version of the program, usually the program is divided up on days. There's a Sunday portion, and there is color-coded, the basic and translational sleep and circadian track, and there's also the clinical and science sleep track. And there's also like little session description, which could be from the AASCT annual meeting, and B stand from bench to bedside. And there's also like rapid fire symposia. And there's also meet the professor, which is like more small. And usually those, if you see a TS next to it, those mean they are ticket events. So you need to have pre-register for them, or if they're still opening, you can sign up for them. And then there's also the oral presentation, which are usually like 10 minutes for each fields area of sleep. And there's also the poster presentation, which we're gonna dive in a little bit more toward the end. And there's also like the symposia series, the symposia, which focus on the latest data and idea within the field. So then we, for those of you that submitted an abstract, we do have a training research abstract video contest, which is the goal is to make your research engaging, accessible to the general audience while maintaining the scientific accuracy. The deadline has been extended to May 9th, which is on Friday. So if please, if you can, please submit a 60-second video summarizing your sleep research abstract, and the winners will be highlighted at the trainee day, and you also get to brag. So it's a good way of sharpening our scientific communication skills, which come in handy. And next, I'm gonna pass it over to David, who will talk more about the Sleep Pal program.
Yeah, hi everyone. So the Sleep Pal program is one of our annual programs that we use to aim to increase the engagement of first-time attendees with the broader sleep community. And so this year, we took a data-driven approach to match those first-time attendees who were interested in participating in this program with Sleep Pals from one of the subcommittees that we've been working with to set up the Trainee Symposia Series. Now, the deadline has already passed to apply for this, but if you are a first-time attendee interested in having a PAL, please reach out to me at the end of this presentation and I will try to get a PAL assigned to you. But for those who have been assigned PALs, which you'll receive an email later today about who you've been assigned to be matched with, you will exchange your contact information with your PAL. You'll set up ideally an introductory Zoom meeting or have a phone call before the actual sleep meeting. And then together you'll attend the sleep meeting's social events and hopefully you can share a meal. And ideally at the end of the day, just make a friend.
Love it. Now, for the Trainee Symposia series, first we're gonna talk about it's gonna start Saturday and then end on Sunday. So for the Saturday portion, those that have submitted an application and were accepted into the leadership development workshop will have an earlier day start, as they will get to learn how to be leaders and also like learn proper lab management and all of those fun gooding for the next step. So they will have a head start on Saturday. And then at 2 p.m., then that's when the Trainee Symposia series, this trainee they actually start with registration and opening remark. Then we plan a couple of activities to kind of like for the event. First start will be expert mentors. I've advice from Blazing Path, where we will get to hear from people that have mentored students at different stage and what works and what didn't work. Then there will be a networking activity, followed by a DEI award-winning recognition and also the Trainee Merit Award winner. For the data blitz, we'll have a Trainee Merit Award winner data blitz, and then there will be activity like weaving passion into practicality panel. And then we will hear from our SIS president, Dan, and he will give a welcome keynote speak. He will give the keynote, a welcome keynote. And then we will have highlight on trainee opportunity panel, where you will have where there will be different panelists that will kind of give different ways of getting involved within the Sleep Research Society. And then we're going to do the evaluation. And this is really important, is because that's how the committee, the TIA committee, will know how to, like, what to keep and what to improve for next year or what to remove. So that will be important. And then the fun part, where we will get to hang out on more on a social setting, will be the training social event. And the training social event will be at Pack Place, and the venue has about like 40 different vendor, so it's bound to cater to all different dietary diets, to all different type of diet, and it's walkable distance, so we will all walk to Pike Place after the end of the Saturday event, like 5:30. And yeah, so more detail if you want to learn more about, like, look up the food menu or the different vendor in advance, scan the QR code, or just walk around that day and be amazed, like your taste bud be amazed. All right, then I'll pass it over to David, who will talk about all the fun science we have planned up for Sunday.
Thanks, Cynthia. Yeah, so for the Sunday Trainee Symposia Series, we have 5 different tracks of sessions that people can attend. At this point in time, you should have already been able to sign up for each of these talks or these panels and lectures to figure out what you actually want to attend. But these tracks include talks and lectures in basic science, circadian science, professional development, sleep and behavior, as well as sleep disorders. And so you had the option to select all of the talks from any one of these tracks, or you could have picked a smattering of different sessions. So I'm just going to kind of run through the different panels and lectures that are available on Sunday, just to remind everyone of what will be presented. And if you want to follow along, please use the QR code in the bottom left-hand corner, and you can look at the full schedule for Sunday, as well as other events throughout the Trainee Symposia series. So first off, we've got a lecture by Ken Wright on the microbiome and its role in sleep and circadian science. We've got a great panel looking at the genetic insights into different sleep disorders. And then finally, for basic science, we have a lecture about in vivo models of sleep. So the first 2 sessions of the circadian science track features how to leverage computational methods to assess circadian rhythms and chronobiology. We also have a lecture from Saurabh Thosar on hypertension development, cardiovascular disease risk, and the implications that circadian health may have in that disease risk. And then finally, in the circadian science track, we have a great panel looking at chrononutrition in different unique clinical populations. This is a track that is near and dear to my heart. I'm very excited for this, but these are all fantastic sessions, so don't feel too much FOMO if you didn't select these. But for those who did, I think you're in for a real treat. So the first session here is looking at the different funding mechanisms that are available for each stage of trainee. And then we have a professional development course or a panel where you get to look or hear from all of these different editors of leading sleep journals. Specifically, we have the editors of the Journal of Biological Rhythms, Sleep Advances, and the flagship Sleep Journal. So this is going to be a fantastic session. And then finally, we have a really great session looking at co-production sleep research. So interacting with the actual populations who experience the topic of interest and getting them engaged with the research itself. Looking at the sleep and behavior track, we have a session looking at sleep health disparities among vulnerable populations. We have a great standout lecture from Dr. Mary Carskadden looking at indicators of sleep health among children, adolescents, and young adults. And then we also have a session looking at sleep and psychopathology. This session is currently a little in flux, so we'll just have to play it by ear as to whether this remains a panel or it may become just a lecture, or we may ask people to select another session. But please just remain on standby for this 3rd session. And then finally, in the sleep disorders track, we have a session about dreams, and trauma, access to sleep medicine across the United States, and then finally, the role of sleep interventions for families dealing with children with sleep disorders.
All right. Thank you, David. So we have a beautiful lineup, and most of you have already pre-registered, but this is just an overview to get you hyped about your specific session. And to close off the day for the Sunday Training Symposia Series, we are going to have a training networking hour between 11:30 to 1 p.m. right before the conference start. Come to enjoy light food, beverage during this networking hour. And also at the time, you will have fill out your survey for the Training Symposia series. And if you were selected to get a travel awards, that's also at the time you'll be able to pick up your checks. And also for those that fill out the survey, and you will be able to get your t-shirt. And for this year, the training subcommittee voted and picked the slogan for the t-shirt, and to match the theme of the venue. The slogan that was the favorites for the committee from the trainee selection was from Pike Place to Pillowcase, and it's gonna be this forest green to kind of like match the Seahawk game, team. So this is what the t-shirt will be. Please make sure to pick it out. And also, you like when you sign up for the training symposia day, it should have asked you like your size. So we will distribute that based on that. So we're really excited for that. Then also part of the series of the trainee event at SLEEP is the trainee networking and development suite, which will happen Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it's gonna be at the same time from 11:45 to 12:45 for that 1 hour. And they're going to be on different session, with the first one being out of the bubble, collaborating with the world outside of academia. That will take place on Monday, where we will get to hear from people from URA, Project Sleep, and also the Naval Health Research Center. And I think this is specifically important because like be able to set up collaboration outside of academia is especially important, especially when it comes to like patient type of research. And then on Tuesday will be the theme of the TNDS session will be teaching sleep, explaining your research to different audience. And we will hear from speaker from Stanford, Baylor, and also we will get to know, because scientific communication is really important nowadays. So that will be like a nice event to attend. And as with anything, we love our science, but we don't want to burn out doing that. So we will hear from Rebecca, Jared, and Lauren about the topic from burnout to balance, mastering work and well-being. And that will take place on Wednesday. And to get the schedule of the TNDS, you can go online or just scan the QR code. Another networking event, which I think if you happen to sleep is is one of like the highlight for many of us, is Club Hypno. And it's important not only to network with other people, but like also get to hear about like the beautiful data blitz that was selected. And from the data blitz, the participant will give like a 1 slide presentation of their submitted abstract, and you get to vote on the member get to vote on the best. And also you get to play. I also enjoy like the little trivia game to kind of give you like, how well do you know sleep and circadian history? So it's a fun networking environment, and there will be free food, drinks, and entertainment, and beautiful science from the top abstract invited for the data blitz. Oh, and that's why you should attend for the food, the data blitz, and also the networking. So the next portion we're going to talk about on the agenda is the trainee networking and other opportunity. And I want to highlight the trainee job boards, which is this is a recent screenshot of it. And if you're on job market or think you'll be on the job market and want to remain in the sleep and circadian field, so check that out. So the job market is specifically offer like training and early career professional. So that's where you find like postdocs. So if you are graduating soon and looking for postdoc position, um, start visiting it more often and you might find your next position. And it is international. As you can see, there are positions from January, from Boston, and other also in Australia and other in Canada. So check out the trainee job board, and you can just find it sleepresearchsociety.org/job or scan the QR code. So we are about to go to sleep, and it's really important to network and get out of our comfort bubble. And so we have this over the year, the Sleep Research Society have come up with the 10 commandment of networking. And you should attend like scientific meeting and especially networking event within the scientific, and you should introduce yourself to people, especially those you like to speak. Even a brief introduction can also lead to like conversation, follow-up conversation via email. And you should have specific idea or question in mind when approaching a potential mentor, or if there's like a really cool lab that you want to like do your postdoc or do your research assistant position while you apply for grad school. So it's like kind of like get like have an idea in mind. So when you meet those people, you can kind of like, hey, I come up like an idea. You kind of have an idea that you like to discuss, and it's easier conversation starter. And also, you should manage expectation regarding what the mentor would do for you, and also join as many networking groups within the institution and outside your institution, and also at sleep, such as Club Hypno, the trainee networking hour that we have after the end of the Symposia series. And yeah, so just fun little things to keep in mind. The 10 commandment of networking as you get gear up and prepare for sleep. And also the one of the things we also want to highlight is the poster session, because it's a great place to network with the peers, because like oral presentation I usually like time like 5 minutes for Q&A, but at the poster you have the presenter out like most of the time you can ask like detailed question and get feedback. And also it's a great place for like networking with your peer and setting up collaboration, and you might find your future mentor there. So make sure to check out the poster session and be prepared. Remember the 10 commandments as you network into the poster session. And then I will pass it back to David, who will talk about more the training community and social net media that will help us as we get approach sleep.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's so easy nowadays to find ourselves in silos when we're so focused on our own research with our own institutions that it can be difficult to make the bridges necessary to interact with our fellow trainees. And so we've really given a lot of thought onto how to bridge people together, including with the Sleep Pals program, to make sure that there's more interaction one-on-one or with the greater community. So over the next few slides, we've got a bunch of QR codes. I highly recommend that you take a photo of these slides. That way you can access them later on. You can access the QR codes and be able to, for instance, join the Discord server that we have, where there are plenty of topics within there to spark conversation or to introduce yourself, and maybe you'll meet a future collaborator or just a future friend. For Discord, we ask that you create a Discord account where you pick some fun and quirky username for the platform itself. But then once you join the sleep trainee community, you can change to your professional name and everyone can know who you are. So, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So we hope that this is a great way for those who have been matched within the Sleep Pals program to begin to communicate, as well as to make new friends or to reconnect with people that you meet at the sleep conference this year. And then next, in case you didn't know, the Sleep Research Society has its very own podcast featuring the authors of different articles that are published within the journal Sleep. This is led by the magnificent Jesse Cook. He does a wonderful job of really making these larger than life authors seem human and finding out what they enjoy in life and what they think about their current science. And it's really just a wonderful listen if you have the time. So please scan that QR code, find whatever podcast player you prefer, and begin listening. There's quite a great backlog at this point, and it's just truly a fantastic way to spend your time. And then finally, we have the Sleep Meeting Trainee WhatsApp group. So if you want to just very quickly message someone who has joined this WhatsApp group, you can ask for like meeting up with people. You can try to figure out some last minute accommodations if you're still looking for a place to stay. There are different topics within this, very similar to the Discord, that you can interact with people and figure out how to spend your time at sleep outside of the actual science.
All right. With that, we thank you all for coming to the webinar and hope it was informational. And yeah, and we look forward to seeing you all in person at Sleep 2025 in the beautiful Seattle. And if you have any question, here's my email and here's David. Feel free to reach out. All right. Thank you all.
If anyone
And were
has a
there any
question they'd like
questions?
to, yep, there's not. I want to just clarify one question that came up that I answered in the Q&A. On the Saturday Trainee Symposia Series, there is no data blitz this year on Saturday, but there is the video contest, which Cynthia brought up earlier, and it is still open for submission. So I threw the link in the Q&A for anybody who is interested in that. And the other question was asking if the sleep app is available yet. And I just messaged the APSS meeting planners and they said not yet, but please watch your email because an alert will be going out as soon as it's in the App Store for everybody to download it. And let's see, I think one other just came in as we were chatting. The question is, can we still register for sessions in the Trainee Symposia Series? We are actually at capacity for every single session at the Trainee Symposia Series right now. So there is no more pre-registration. However, what we've been advising people is come check in with us on the day. On Sunday, there'll be a reg table. My name is Amanda. Sorry, I will actually be at that reg table. I work for the Sleep Research Society. And we are telling folks, we scan people into the rooms. All those who pre-registered will let in first. And then if the room is not actually at capacity, because we do have no-shows, we will let any walk-ins, any training members who are walk-ins in that day as well. Any other questions? Yeah, I don't see any more in the Q&A, David or Cynthia.
Thank you all and see you all at sleep.